And now for the reading component of today's lesson. The title is Man fa'ala hadha. Who did this? Fa'ala you should recognize. Wa raja'a an-nas. Raja'a means to return. Here on that pattern fa'ala, conjugated for huwa. Wa raja'a an-nas. And the people returned. Wa dakhalu fi bayt al-asnam. And they entered. Dakhala means to enter. Here it's conjugated for whom? Dakhalu, fa'alu, because it's referring to an-nas, a group of people. وَدَخَلُوا فِي بَيْتِ الْأَصْنَامِ. They entered fi bayt, in the house, al-asnam, house of the idols. One thing you might have noticed here is that raja'a is conjugated for huwa, but the one that's doing the action is an-nas, the people, which has the meaning of plural. That might seem strange at the moment, but just don't worry about that right now. It'll make more sense as we go along. We'll learn about that in the future in our lessons in Nahu. Here also, we can ask ourselves to practice what we learned today about al-ma'rifa wa nakira. Bayt al-asnam, the house of the idols. Ask yourself here, is bayt, house, is that ma'rifa or nakira? Is it definite or indefinite? It's definite, and why? Because it's connected to al-asnam, which is a word that is definite because it has the alif and lam that is entered upon it. So al-asnam is definite because it has alif and lam, and bayt is also definite because it's been joined with this word with the meaning of. Bayt al-asnam, the house of the idols. So not just any house, a particular house, the house of the idols. وَرَجَعَ النَّاسُ وَدَخَلُوا فِي بَيْتِ الْأَصْنَامِ. The people returned and entered دَخَلُوا فِي بَيْتِ الْأَصْنَامِ, in the house of the idols. وَأَرَادَ النَّاسُ أَن يَسْجُدُوا لِلْأَصْنَامِ لِأَنَّهُ يَوْمُ عِيدٍ. وَأَرَادَ, and wanted. Arada means to want. النَّاسِ, the people. أَن يَسْجُدُوا, to prostrate. An is a harf here that comes to connect verbs to each other. We'll learn more about that in the future, but with the meaning of to. وَأَرَادَ النَّاسُ, and the people wanted to يَسْجُدُوا, to prostrate. So this is يَفْعَلُونَ, but the noon has been dropped, and we'll learn about that in the next lesson or the one after that. لِلْأَصْنَامِ, they wanted to prostrate. Lil, to. Li, to. Al-asnam, the idols. لِأَنَّهُ, because it was يَوْمُ عِيدٍ, the day of Eid. وَلَكِنْ تَعَجَّبَ النَّاسُ وَدُهِشُوا. But, walakin is a very important word. Lakin means but. وَلَكِنْ تَعَجَّبَ النَّاسُ وَدُهِشُوا. But the people ta'ajjaba. Ta'ajjaba means to be surprised by something or amazed by something. وَدُهِشُوا. Here, ask yourself, what is the conjugation for duhishu? First ask, is it madi or mudari? Is it past tense or present tense? Present tense you'll always know because it will always have in the beginning either that ya, like yaf'alu, or that ta, like taf'alu, or a hamza, like af'alu, or a noon, like naf'alu. Here we don't have any of those things. We know this is madi. The next question is it madi ma'aloom or madi majhul? Is it one where we know who's doing the action or one where we don't know who's doing the action? The ma'aloom is on the pattern fa'ala, and here we don't have that pattern. The majhul is on the pattern fu'ila, and here that's what we have. This is an example of madi majhul. And then here, what is it? Pronoun is it conjugated for? It's conjugated for whom? So if we said duhisha, he was startled or amazed. You could say amazed. Duhisha, he was startled or he was amazed. Duhisha, two people were amazed. duhishu, a group of people were, or surprised is better, maybe a better translation. A group of people were surprised. So ولكن تعجب الناس ودهشوا, but the people were amazed and surprised. تعجب and duhishu, the meanings are fairly close. That the difference is تعجب, we're thinking about it, that this is an action they're doing, because it's ma'lum. So they are doing an action of being amazed, and here duhishu, they were surprised. So it's indicating there's something else that caused them to be surprised. وَتَأَسَّفَ النَّاسُ وَغَضِبُوا, and the people were, you could say sorry, but the meaning is not really sorry. They were وَتَأَسَّفَ, the people were disappointed or were not happy about this situation. تَأَسَّفَ النَّاسُ وَغَضِبُوا, they were upset and became angry. And they were angry. Here, past tense verb conjugated for fa'alu. غَضِبُوا, for whom they were angry. قَالُوا مَنْ فَعَلَ هَذَا بِآلِهَتِنَا. Here we have several quotes from Quran, which makes this also a good thing about this book. Since he quotes from Quran in these stories, we get to learn the vocabulary from these ayat in Quran, and when you come across them when you're reading Quran, you can understand them better, inshallah. قالوا, they said, فعلوا, من فعل هذا بآلهتنا, who فعل, did, هذا, this, be, with, آلهتنا, our gods. So the word for a deity in Arabic is ilah, and the plural of that is aliha or alihatun with a ta at the end. And here this noon and the alif at the end is with the meaning of nahnu. We'll learn about that in the future, but bi alihatina, with our deities. Qalu, they said, sami'na, we heard. So here past tense verb conjugated for nahnu. سمعنا on the pattern of فعلنا. قالوا سمعنا, we heard, فتى, a young man. A فتى is a young man. A فتى يذكرهم, remembering them. يذكر, present tense verb, مضارع معلوم, conjugated for يفعل, for هو. قالوا, they said, سمعنا, we heard, فتى, a boy, يذكرهم, remembering them. يقال له, it is said to him, Ibrahim. Here the meaning, it is said to him, meaning that his name is Ibrahim. And يقال here is the mudari al-majhul. The way, as we said, for this is the same verb from right. قال, قالوا, قالوا, they said. يقال means it is said. Because it's the mudari majhul, but because qala has a weak letter in the middle, it's a little bit hard to deal with, so we'll learn about it in more details as we go along. قالوا أأنت, they said, the hamza here, hamzatul istifham, for asking a question. Or, anta, you, fa'alta, you did, هذا, this, بآلهتنا, with our gods, يا, O Ibrahim. قالوا أأنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا يا إبراهيم. They said, did you do this with our gods, O Ibrahim? قال, he said, بل, no. Bel is a word for refutation that you said in response to something else. Bel. فعله, did it. The who here is for it. فعل, we know the meaning, he did. بل فعله, did it. كبيرهم. Kabir means big. كبيرهم, the big one of them. هذا, this. قال بل فعله كبيرهم هذا. He said, no, the big one right here did it. Right? So he's pointing to the big idol and saying, كبيرهم هذا, this one that's the biggest of all of them, he did it. فاسألوهم. Here, we'll learn about in a few more lessons too, is a command. It's also a fi'l, but a new kind of fi'l that we haven't come across yet. It's called an amr, or a command. فَاسْأَلُوهُمْ, ask them, in كَانُوا يَنْطِقُونَ. In means if. In كَانُوا يَنْطِقُونَ. Here كَانُوا, we learned كَانَ before, now this is كَانَ conjugated for whom. In كَانُوا يَنْطِقُونَ, if they يَنْطِقُونَ, speak. He says, وَكَانَ النَّاسُ يَعْرِفُونَ أَنَّ الْأَصْنَامَ حِجَارَةٌ. And the people knew, يعرفون, conjugated for يفعلون, for whom, they knew, أن الأصنام, that the idols, حجارة, are stones. وكانوا يعرفون, and they knew, أن الحجارة, that stones, لا تسمع ولا تنطق. لا تسمع, they don't speak, ولا تنطق, لا تسمع, they don't hear, ولا تنطق, they don't speak. وكانوا يعرفون أن الصنم الأكبر أيضا حجر. And they يعرفون, knew, so كانوا, they used to, يعرفون, know, أن الصنم الأكبر, that the صنم, the singular from أصنام, أصنام is idols, الصنم, one idol, أن الصنم الأكبر, the biggest, الأكبر is the biggest or the greatest. And that's why we say in the prayer, Allahu Akbar, Allah is greater than all other things. أن الصنم الأكبر أيضا, أيضا a very important word, meaning also, حجر, a stone. So حجر is one stone, حجارة is stones. وأن الصنم الأكبر لا يقدر وأن الصنم الأكبر لا يقدر أن يمشي ويتحرك. And that الصنم, the idol, al-akbar, the biggest, لا يقدر, doesn't have the power. Here, a فعل مضارع معلوم conjugated for يفعل, for هو. لا يقدر, doesn't have the ability, and to يمشي, to walk, ويتحرك, and to move. وأن الصنم الأكبر لا يقدر أن يكسر الأصنام. And that the biggest idol, لا يقدر, doesn't have the ability, أن يكسر, to break الأصنام, the idols. فقالوا لإبراهيم, so قالوا, they said, to Ibrahim, they said to Ibrahim, أنت تعلم, you know. تعلم here conjugated for أنت, تفعل. أنت تعلم أن الأصنام لا تنطق. You know that the idols لا تنطق, they don't speak. قال إبراهيم, Ibrahim said, فكيف تعبدون الأصنام. فكيف, كيف means how. So like when people greet each other in Arabic, they say كيف حالك. How is your حال? How is your situation? كيف, how. فكيف تعبدون, how do you worship? تعبدون conjugated for أنتم, تفعلون. كيف تعبدون الأصنام وإنها, and indeed they, لا تضر ولا تنفع. They don't harm ولا تنفع, and they don't benefit. وكيف تسألون الأصنام, and how do you ask? تسألون conjugated for تفعلون, for أنتم, you group of men. كيف تسألون, how do you all ask? الأصنام, the idols. وإنها لا تنطق ولا تسمع. And indeed they don't تنطق, they don't speak, they don't, make sounds come out of their mouth. ولا تسمع, and they don't listen. ألا تفهمون, don't you understand? تفهمون, a فعل مضارع معلوم conjugated for أنتم, تفعلون, تفهمون, to understand. ألا تفهمون شيئا, don't you understand anything? شيئا, شيئا is a thing, right? We learned shay means thing. Here it's indefinite. شيئا, anything at all. Don't you understand anything, even the smallest thing that you can imagine? أفلا تعقلون, don't you understand? So فهم and to يفهم and يعقل or have similar meanings. تفهمون, to understand, and تعقلون, means to use your intellect. So the intellect in Arabic is called al-aql, and it comes from a root that means to tie something and to bind it and constrict it. So the idea is the aql, it ties the human being and keeps him from doing foolish actions. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, don't you use your intellect? وَسَكَتَ النَّاسِ, and the people were quiet. وَخَجِلُوا, and they were embarrassed. They were shy or embarrassed about the silliness of their actions, right? So sakata, past tense, huwa, to be quiet. Khajilu, past tense, al-madi, al-ma'lum, conjugated for hum, khajilu. They were shy or embarrassed. Now the next part of the story, narun, a fire, baridatun, cool. So barid means cold or cool. In nar is a feminine word, so it's described with a feminine adjective, which is why we added a ta marbuta to barida. And inshallah we'll learn that, I believe, in our next lesson from the grammar book. Ijtama'a an-nas. Ijtama'a means to gather together. Ijtama'a an-nasu wa qalu madha naf'al. They gathered together and said, what will we do? Inna Ibrahim kasara al-asnama wa ahana al-aliha. Indeed, Ibrahim kasara al-asnam, he broke the idols. Wa ahana. Ahana means to humiliate. And he humiliated al-aliha, the gods. Wa sa'ala an-nas, and the people asked, Ma iqabu Ibrahim. What is the punishment? Iqab means punishment. In Quran you'll see Inna Allaha shadidul iqab. Indeed, Allah is shadid, is severe in his iqab, in his punishment. Ma iqabu Ibrahim. What is the punishment of Ibrahim? Ma jaza'u Ibrahim. What is the reward of Ibrahim, or the payment of Ibrahim? So jaza means the thing that is done for someone in response to their actions. So for example, we say jazakallahu khair. May Allah reward you with good. May he repay what you've done with good. But here jaza is being used not in the meaning of good, but in the meaning of punishment. How will we repay him his actions? By punishing him. Kan al-jawab. Jawab means response. The response was harriquhu wansuru alihatakum. Harriquhu, this is a command, we'll learn that in the future. Burn him, wansuru, and help alihatakum, your gods. وَهَكَذَا كَانَ. And like that, هَكَذَا, like that, can, it was. أَوْقَدُوا نَارًا. They started a fire, or they kindled a fire. أَوْقَدُوا نَارًا وَأَلْقَوْا, and they threw فِيهَا إِبْرَاهِيم, in it Ibrahim. وَلَكِنَ اللَّهَ نَصَرَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَقَالَ لِلنَّارِ. But Allah نَصَرَ إِبْرَاهِيم, he helped Ibrahim and said to the fire, لِلنَّارِ. نَصَرَ here, فعل, ماضي, معلوم, conjugated for huwa, nasara. So if you want to practice our conjugations, if we want to say, so nasara means he helped. If we wanted to say he was helped, how would we say it? Nusira. وَلَكِنَ اللَّهَ نَصَرَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَقَالَ لِلنَّارِ. But Allah helped Ibrahim and said to the fire, يَا نَارُ كُونِي. O fire, be bardan, coolness, وَسَلَامٍ, and peace, على Ibrahim, on Ibrahim. وَهَكَذَا كَانَ. And like that it was. كَانَتِ النَّارُ, the fire was, bardan, coolness, وَسَلَامًا, peace, على, upon Ibrahim. وَرَأَى, and he saw, or وَرَأَى النَّاسِ, and the people saw, أَنَّ النَّارَ لَا تَضُرُّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ, that the fire does not harm Ibrahim. وَرَأَى النَّاسُ أَنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَسْرُورٌ, and the people saw, رَأَى, means to see. وَرَأَى النَّاسُ أَنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مَسْرُورٌ, that Ibrahim was happy and pleased. Masrur means to be pleased. وَأَنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ سَالِمٌ, and that Ibrahim سالم was safe. وَدُهِشَ النَّاسُ وَتَحَيَّرُوا, وَدُهِشَ النَّاسُ وَتَحَيَّرُوا. So duhisha, we learned, were astounded or astonished or surprised. The people were surprised. وَتَحَيَّرُوا, and they were perplexed. Now the following section, Men Rabbi, who is my Rabb? Rabbi. Rabb is a very important word in Arabic language. Roughly we translate it as Lord, but really, it has a much richer meaning than that. Rabb means the one that creates, the one that takes care of, the one that teaches, the one that protects, all those things. So he says, Men Rabbi, who is my Lord? وَذَاتَ لَيْلَةٍ, and one night. Layl means night in general, and Layla with the ta marbuta at the end means a one night in particular. So وَذَاتَ لَيْلَةٍ is a nice expression in Arabic that means in one night. وَذَاتَ لَيْلَةٍ رَأَى إِبْرَاهِيمُ كَوْكَبًا, and one night Ibrahim saw كوكبًا, a star. So كوكب means star. Here it's nakira. If we wanted to make it ma'rifa, we would say al-kawkab. فَقَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي, so he said, this is my Lord. وَلَمَّا, and when, غَابَ الْكَوْكَبْ, غَابَ is a past tense verb, has a weak letter in the middle like قَالَ, if you can hear the similarity, قَالَ, غَابَ, so it's complicated to conjugate, but غَابَ means to go away, or to, like غَيْب means that which is not present, or not that it's not present, but it's not there for you in the way that you can see it or touch it or feel it. So غاب الكوكب means when the star went away or when the star set. قال إبراهيم, Ibrahim said, لا, no, هذا, this, ليس, is not, بربي, my Lord. For Laysa is an important word for negating. We'll learn the details of that in the future, inshallah. وَرَأَى إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَمَرَ فَقَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي, and Ibrahim saw al-qamar, the moon, فَقَالَ هَذَا رَبِّي, so he said, this is my Lord. وَلَمَّا غَابَ الْقَمَرُ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ, and when the moon went away, Ibrahim said, لا, no, هذا, this, لَيْسَ بِرَبِّي, is not my Lord. وَطَلَعَتِ الشَّمْسِ, طَلَعَ means to ascend, here to rise, and it's conjugated. Ash-shams is feminine, so it's treated like hiya, she, so this is conjugated for fa'alat, ta'alat, and then because we want to connect them two together, we don't want to say طَلَعَتْ ash-shams, we say طَلَعَتِ ash-shams, but originally this ta would have a sukoon on it and be طَلَعَتْ. وَطَلَعَتِ الشَّمْسِ, like فَعَلَتْ. وَطَلَعَتْ الشَّمْسِ, the sun rose. فَقَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ, so Ibrahim said, هَذَا رَبِّي هَذَا أَكْبَرُ. This is a quote from Quran, Surah Al-An'am. This is my Lord, this is bigger or greater or more impressive. وَلَمَّا غَابَتِ الشَّمْسِ, so same thing here. Earlier we had غَاب الْكَوْكَبْ and غَاب الْقَمَرْ, because both of the kawkab and qamar are both masculine. We'll learn more about masculine and feminine as we go along. They were conjugated for fa'ala, so it was غَابَ, but here because shams is feminine, it's conjugated for hiya, for fa'alat, so غَابَت. And because there's a alif lam after it, we give it a kasra here so that we can connect them together. وَلَمَّا غَابَتِ الشَّمْسِ, and when the sun went away, فِي اللَّيْلِ, in the night, قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ, Ibrahim said, لا, no, هَذَا لَيْسَ بِرَبِّي, this is not my Lord. إِنَّ اللَّهَ حَيٌّ لَا يَمُوتُ, Allah is living. Hayy means living. لَا يَمُوتُ, He does not die. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَاقٍ, indeed Allah is remaining. لا يغيب, he doesn't go away. إن الله قوي, he is strong. لا يغلبه شيء, nothing overcomes him. يغلب means to overcome or to defeat. لا يغلبه شيء, nothing defeats him. والكوكب ضعيف, and the star is ضعيف, it is weak. يغلبه الصبح, the صبح is the morning. The morning defeats him or overtakes it. والقمر ضعيف, and the moon is weak. تغلبه الشمس, the sun overpowers it or defeats it or overtakes it. والشمس ضعيفة, and the sun is weak. يغلبه الليل ويغلبه الغيم. The sun is weak, it's ضعيف. يغلبه overtakes it الليل, the night. ويغلبه الغيم, and overtakes it the clouds. ولا ينصرني الكوكب لأنه ضعيف. And the kawkab, the star, does not yansuruni, it doesn't help me. We learned earlier nasara, this is what the past tense. Nasara means he helped. Here yansuru is the present tense. Yaf'alu, he helps. ولا ينصرني الكوكب, the star doesn't help me. لأنه, because it is ضعيف, it is weak. ولا تنصرني الشمس لأنها ضعيفة. And the sun doesn't help me because it is weak. Here you see yansuru and tansuru. Yansuru for huwa, tansuru for hiya, because shams is feminine. وَيَنْصُرُنِي Allah, and Allah helps me. لِأَنَّ اللَّهَ حَيٌّ لَا يَمُوتُ, because Allah is living, he does not die. وَبَاقٍ لَا يَغِيبُ, and he's remaining, he doesn't go away, he doesn't disappear. وَقَوِيٌّ, and strong. لَا يَغْلِبُهُ شَيْءٌ, nothing overcomes him at all. Inshallah, we'll stop there for today. Review that grammar lesson and get that strong in your mind, and review the nahu was-sarf, both of those videos, and make sure you're strong in the concepts that we covered in the previous videos. And for the readings, just keep following along, trying to understand, read them again and again on your own time as well, and make sure that you memorize the words that I'm putting in the bottom in the description of the videos, those vocabulary words for you. Make sure you learn those words. I realize at first, if you don't have any experience in Arabic language, when we're reading these stories, there will be lots of new things, or lots of words maybe that you don't understand, or you're not understanding how the sentences are coming together grammatically to get those meanings across. That's completely fine, because we've only barely just started learning the grammar of the language. So there's going to be lots of things that you don't understand. The point of this reading is just that we're getting used to hearing the language, and we're getting used to connecting the meanings of the words with the words, the sounds of the words, and we're getting used to the different ways that Arabic sentences are getting put together. So there's gonna be lots of things that we're not understanding right now, but we're gonna start getting the feel for the language. Even if we don't realize it at the time, we might feel like we're just completely lost, but that feel for the language and how it works is going to start to be built within us as we listen and as we translate. So just keep following along, and keep listening, and keep memorizing those vocabulary words that we're giving you in the end of the videos, or in the description at the bottom of the videos.